Welcome to the Tupelo City Council meeting of April the 4th, 2017. At this time, would everybody rise for an invocation by Councilman Travis Beard, and I'll handle the Pledge of Allegiance. Travis?
May we pray. Lord, we thank you for the blessing of life. Thank you for your blessings on our city, and we ask for your continued leadership. We pray for those who are less fortunate, those who are sick. We ask that you would guide in our business tonight and have your will and way. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Would you face the flag? Salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and ask Council Vice President Markle Whittington to confirm or amend the agenda and the agenda order.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to confirm the agenda and the agenda order.
Second.
Got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Mike Bryan. All in favor? Motion carries. The agenda is set. Item 4, proclamations, recognition, and reports agenda. Item 4.1, we don't have any boy or Girl Scouts. Item 4.2, recognition of city employees. Mayor.
Thank you, President Bryan. This time it's my honor and privilege to recognize a few of our team members here in the city of Tupelo. And Lieutenant Michael Russell, would you please come forward? As he's making his way up here, just a reminder, particularly those at home or for those that don't come to all the meetings. This is an opportunity we have at our council meetings to recognize the men and women that work with the city of Tupelo, that make the city of Tupelo run on a day-to-day basis. You often see the council members, myself, or a department head on TV or in the newspaper, but I think any of us would certainly readily admit it takes the men and women that work with the city of Tupelo to make us run smoothly on a day-to-day basis. And as I'm recognizing Lieutenant Russell, I can't help but point out he was with us in Denver for our All-America City 2015 competition, and especially since your family is here with you, I won't ask you to lead our cheer, but he has a very powerful voice and is a great, not a cheerleader, but a great yell leader for a group. But at this time, on behalf of the council, the administration, and the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Lieutenant Michael Russell of the Tupelo Police Department for 20 years of dedicated employment. Thank you, Lieutenant Russell. Captain Loden. At this time, on behalf of the council, the administration, the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Captain Tracy A. Loden of the Tupelo Fire Department for 20 years of dedicated employment with the city of Tupelo. Thank you, Captain Loden. Captain Stevens. This time, on behalf of the council, the administration, and the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Captain Marty H. Stevens of the Tupelo Fire Department for 20 years of dedicated employment with the city of Tupelo. Thank you, Captain Stevens.
All right, at this time, public recognitions. We'll start on with Mr. Jennings.
Yes, Mr. President, I would just like to recognize my brother in Christ, Reverend James Walford, back there. Would you mind raising your hand, standing one? He's our musician at church too. He's a great musician player, and his son been playing together for, I guess, about 30 years. So they're great musicians. I'm glad to have you here tonight.
Buddy?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to recognize, I happened by the Aquatic Center Saturday morning, as a matter of fact, and they were having a special Olympic swim contest. And other than Mississippi State girls basketball team was exciting, but if you want to see excitement, you should go by there and see that these are world-class athletes. I totally, really enjoyed it, and I'd like to commend all the people that helped put that on. And my personal favorite was a young man by the name of Hadley. So, Hadley, I hope you're watching tonight. Thank
Mike? Marvel? Travis? The only thing I'd like to say is let the public know they started breaking ground on the Vietnam Memorial Wall today. So it's moving along. Mayor?
Well, if I could just go to the mayor's report.
Item 4.4, the mayor's report.
Thank you, President Bryan. At this time, to begin the mayor's report, if I could ask, we have two representatives with the Junior Auxiliary. If I could ask you to come forward at this time. If the council would indulge me, I do have a proclamation to issue for Junior Auxiliary. As mayor of the city of Tupelo, it's my honor and privilege to issue the following proclamation of Junior Auxiliary Week. Whereas the Junior Auxiliary of Tupelo, Mississippi, a chapter of 74-year-old National Association of Junior Auxiliaries Incorporated, represents a serious endeavor on the part of women to be active and constructive participants in the community and to assume responsible leadership in meeting community needs. And the mission of the National Association of Junior Auxiliaries is to encourage member chapters to render charitable services which are beneficial to the general public, with particular emphasis on children, and to cooperate with other organizations performing similar services. Whereas the Junior Auxiliary of Tupelo, Mississippi works actively to perform the mission of the National Association of Junior Auxiliaries in this community, and we appreciate its efforts. Therefore, as mayor of the city of Tupelo, I do hereby proclaim the week of April 2nd through 8th, 2017 as Junior Auxiliary Week in Tupelo, Mississippi, sponsored by the National Association of Junior Auxiliaries, and urge all citizens, civic and fraternal groups, news media, and other community organizations to join in the salute to Junior Auxiliary volunteers who have been an important presence in this community since 1951. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to the community on behalf of all the members of Junior Auxiliary. We could not do what we do without your support, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, ladies at Junior Auxiliary do a phenomenal job in many things. And also throw a pretty great party at the annual charity ball. Would just be very brief in the mayor's report this week. Just would recap the Cherry Blossom Festival, the state of Mississippi's first and only Cherry Blossom Festival is here in the city of Tupelo. We had that 2 weeks ago Sunday and had several hundred participants. The weather, unlike last year, really cooperated, and we had beautiful weather and had our friends from Toyota, the Tier 2, and other suppliers and manufacturers, along with Toyota Mississippi, had a great representation with Jasmus and other corporate entities. So I had a great time there. Our CVB, in their rotating music exhibit, has unveiled this month's, or not just month, but this latest exhibit for Lane Chapel Quintet. That was a pretty awesome exhibit. Would just encourage everybody take an opportunity to go by there and see it. Councilman Palmer mentioned the Special Olympics at the Aquatic Center. We also this week will have another Special Olympics event kicking off Friday at Tupelo High School. So we'll have another great weekend of Olympic activity here. And then Lindsay made a note in my report to not to forget to mention the Mississippi State Lady Bulldogs who made it to the national championship game and made the Yukon Lady Huskies 111-1. Broke their 111 game win streak. So pretty phenomenal. So that would conclude my report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we're going to close the regular meeting and open the public agenda. Item 5, the public agenda. Item 5.1, public hearings. Item 5.1A, public hearings regarding demolitions of properties. I'm going to call whoever's here to speak about demolition properties up by the property since we have a list. If there anybody here to speak about 120 Lawndale Street and the owner is George Allen Bush. Mr. Bush, if you could go to the podium, state your name and your address. I'm trying to find something right quick, my timer here. There we go. And state your name and your address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
My name is George Thomas Bush. That was my great-grandmother's house. We have had this come up before. Since 2006, I've been taking care of both of them full-time. I've been their only care provider. I was at one time cleaning up that yard and taking care of it. I painted it. I kept the leaves up and I kept the limbs over on the street. The property's been posted since the 60s. It's no trespassing. I can't keep the neighbors from throwing their trash in the yard, tearing down the fence, or getting on the property. Now this is saying that it's in such disarray, and the only thing I can see that is there's a little paint off of one of the posts and there's some leaves on the roof. And of course I hadn't been out there to clean it up for the last 13 months. I have been back and forth to the hospital with one or more of my parents, and I have not had time. And I guess it'll make you happy to know last Wednesday she died, my mother died, and we buried her on Saturday. And I'll have more time to attend to that property now. About 3 weeks, I should be better and be able to do it. I have an abscess. I didn't really want to come down here today. And we may do some things with that property. It wasn't for sale the last time. And I don't know who it was that came to light. And last time, one of the first meetings we had about this property, somebody was wanting that property. And when y'all sanctioned it last time, and fined us or put a lien on the property about tearing that building down that was behind it, that building was made with the scrap from the tornado in '37. It had the post in it, a metal building. It's full of antiques. Different parts of our family had inherited, and they were in that building. And I was on the property. I had just finished painting the house, and they came during a week when it rained, and I took the tractor and everything where I was taking down part of that tin building that somebody had added on to it, and the floor had fallen out of it. They took all the antiques and they took the building down, and we haven't heard a word about it. And other than the fact that we got a letter saying that we were going to be a levy lien against it. And that was in the middle of cleaning it up. And that was several years back. But as it stated, within 3 weeks, I'll be better and I'll be able to get out there and clean the property up. And I don't believe you should be able to just come in and take the property like that and demolition. That's all I can say.
Thank you. All right, the next item is 212 Barnes Street. The property owner is Frank Agnew. Could you state your name and your address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Frank Agnew. I live at 201 Dozier Street, and the property in person is on 212 Bond Street. And I got a certified letter about it, and I came down here today, and they told me that they would give me 30 days. So I got a contractor, and I told him just do whatever he had to do, because I'm not able to do anything now. And I know that, so whatever he can do, he can't, he just demolish, whatever. But he said he can do it. Anybody got any words for him?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the next property is 221 Monument Drive, Thomas McCollum.
321.
Correction, 321 Monument, Thomas McCollum.
Well, I'm not Thomas McCollum.
Okay,
That's my father.
Okay. I just need you to state your name and your
Okay,
address.
I'm Donna McCollum Worley, okay? And I live in Jackson, Mississippi, but my parents' home is at 321 Monument. They do not live there now. I grew up there. Well, to be nice, I know everybody says that their parents are ill and old, and that's really true. But we've been fighting this. I've been trying to sell the house. He doesn't want to sell it. He thinks he's going to move back there when my mother passes away. But we're going to sell it or fix it. I have finally found someone, which is not easy in Tupelo, by the way, to find someone to help you do things. So, especially when you live in Jackson. I found someone. He was supposed to start it yesterday, but he hurt his hand. So, we've cleaned the yards, and we will be taking care of the house. If somebody wants to buy it, let me know.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. As I said in the Senate, might reserve time for another person. May I ask a question of her husband?
Sure.
You want my name?
I need your name and your address.
Hubert Worley, 2107 Meadowbrook, Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
There's an item in the list at 7.19. Review approved donation of property at 323 Monument Street from Jason Harrison to the city of Tupelo. That's a burned out building adjacent to this structure.
Correct.
Would that have any particular effect upon y'all's decision upon what you're going to decide about 321 Monument? No. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next property is 520 South Broadway. The owner is Liberty Restoration. Anybody here for 520 South Broadway? All right, the next piece of property is 2756 Beasley Drive, Annie B. Springer.
Oh, Mr. President, she called this afternoon. She said that she was going to drop that, but
No, that's a different person.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
This is
I'm sorry,
2756
I'm sorry.
Beasley Drive, Annie B. Springer.
I got ahead of myself.
Okay. All right, item 5.2, citizens hearings. Item 5.2A, matter concerning the final proposal of the Police Advisory Board, Mr. Pete Sims. Welcome back, Pete.
Thank you, sir. Give me a 1 minute warning, please.
Yeah, well, I will. Pete, if you could state your name and your address, and you have 5 minutes.
Pete Sims, 5681 Hill Ridge Drive, Belton, Mississippi, within the city limits, annexed in recently. I'm here this evening to speak to you about the proposed city ordinance on the Police Accountability Board. This is a misguided solution to a problem that does not exist. There's nothing based in fact that would call for such a group to exist. There's been 27 complaints filed within the last 3 years. That's less than one a month. And out of 250,000, 250,000 calls for service is only produced 0.000107% of complaints. You got to get to 3 zeros before you get to a real number to even see that. So there's no fact-based need, but there's a political need. And there's no universe in a city in Mississippi where a Republican mayor would be pushing or advocating for a police oversight board. There's no universe where in Mississippi where a conservative mayor would spend more than $10,000 to take a group of people to Albuquerque to a conference where they heard from big city police organizations about their police advisor oversight boards they have there. And when they came back from that meeting, there was absolutely zero suggestions that came out of that from the members of the city council that went to Albuquerque. Nothing. So except for the articles in the Daily Journal, there has been no transparency about the recommendations about a police accountability board. The Department of Justice was here back in October, and his only recommendation that he had to the working group was that we should have a town hall meeting, some meetings to bring this up to the public. That was not heeded, and that was not done. So why am I here? Well, I'm here in support of the Tupelo Police Department. I'm not here in support of the chief or in support of the assistant chief. They are political appointees. They serve at the pleasure of the mayor. But make no mistake that this board will be used to provide oversight for the Tupelo Police Department. It's not an oversight and accountability is what it'll be used for. The mayor appoints the chairman. He appoints the vice chairman. He has 2 appointees on there. All the recommendations before they go to the chief go to the mayor. If the mayor tells the chief to do something, since he is a subordinate of the mayor, the chief is going to do it. Unless he wants to buck the mayor and resign or something, I suppose he could do that. So if this is not a political situation that we're setting up here for the running of the police department, I don't know what is. The reason this is all being done is to appease and placate a group of people who are a large voting bloc for a Democratic mayor. That's the way I see it. So what we need to do, I'm concerned about the crime rates going up. I'm concerned about in the aftermath of Ferguson and Baltimore, even in LA right now, the crime rates has gone up 35%. The arrests have gone down by double digits. And a lot of that's because the police are not engaging in their normal routines. They're pulling back. And I'm afraid if we get too much politics involved in the operation of the police department, that's going to happen in Tupelo. Crime will go up, engagement, proactive policing will go down. So that's my concern. So this is a misguided attempt to put in place a police accountability board. We need to cut out the middle person, and the police chief needs to in my opinion, hold quarterly meetings like he did not too long ago and hear directly from the public. You don't need a middleman to go through to bring issues to him. Only politicians like to have committees. But we need something different than that. We also need to do an opinion survey of the rank and file of the police department to see if we are losing their support. I've got anecdotal evidence that police rank and file are not happy at all with the idea of a police advisory board. So I plead with you that you consider putting in place a opinion survey to find out exactly what the police department rank and file feels like. We do not need to lose the energy and the proactive nature of the Tupelo police, which I think are doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete.
Mr. President, but I have the right to say something.
This is just a citizen's hearing where he gets to speak.
It'll be on the agenda. It's later on in the agenda. We'll have to say.
I'm talking about this in the
No, we
hearing.
get to discuss it when it comes up in the action agenda.
Oh, okay.
All right, at this point,
No,
we're going
I wasn't talking about 6.1.
to, no, it's 6.2.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, we're going to close the regular meeting and open, correction, we're going to close the public agenda and open the regular meeting. Item 6, the action agenda. Item 6.1, review and accept, reject, and appeal of the Planning Committee decision
by Mrs. Army White. This item was tabled on 3/21/17.
Make a motion to take it off the table.
Second. I have a motion to take it off the table by Markle Whittington and a second by Mike Bryan. All in favor of taking it off the table? The item is now off the table.
Make a motion we reject the appeal.
I have a motion to reject the appeal by Markle Whittington.
Second.
I have a second by Mike Bryan. Discussion. We're going to start on, let me start on this end and we'll end up down with you.
That's fine.
Travis, you got any discussion?
I do not.
Markle, Mike, Buddy, Mr. Jennings.
Yes, Mr. President, I just want to thank the planning department for working with Ms. White. She called me this afternoon and said that she decided not to go through with the appeal. But she is willing, I asked her, would she be willing to work with the city, and the city said Shane and his department would work with her trying to build another structure that she can afford on that property once she moves the trailer on. So I think it's gonna make everybody happy all the way around, because I told her, I would have to uphold the code that we have on the books, and she understands that. So I think Shane and the department will be able to work with her somewhere down the line with that. So I just want to thank them for doing that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? The appeal is rejected. Item 6.2, review, adopt ordinance for the Police Advisory Board.
Make a motion we adopt the ordinance.
Second. I got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Travis Beard. Discussion. Travis? Markle?
Yes, one comment, and I really appreciate Pete coming. He's come several times, and he lives in Ward 1, and I appreciate him. But nowhere in this ordinance is the word oversight or accountability. This is an advisory-only board. Some of our best ideas come from our advisory boards throughout the city. Volunteers that serve on these advisory boards are engaged citizens. And as I've said once before, even though there's not an advisory board throughout the state of Mississippi for the police department, this will be the first in the state of Mississippi. It cannot hurt. Anytime we can have a community that's engaged, we have a better community. And I think this advisory board is an opportunity for people to share their concerns and communicate with the rest of the community what the police are doing. And maybe it can help. We don't know that it will, but maybe it will. And I think it's a good idea for us to do that. And Mr. Sims, I appreciate you coming and sharing your opinion.
Mike?
Yes, Mr. President, my position hasn't changed. I'm not for this advisory board. I feel like it's driven for the wrong reason due to the Shumpert shooting. I believe that the advisory board or communications with the community, I feel like they are communicating with the community. The police department is involved and engaged in the city. There's sheet after sheet after sheet, hundreds of things that they're involved in inside the city limits. They do a great job, and I feel like this advisory board will be sitting there. It will be the big gorilla for the next Shumpert shooting, and it could be driven for the wrong reason.
Buddy?
Well, I couldn't have said it better than Markle did. I totally think it is a good idea. It's well worth trying. I was on that committee that was looking into that. There's a lot of information there that our citizens do not know. I think the requirements to be on this board are very good, and I think it's a great thing to try. If it doesn't work, we can always shut it down, but I think it's a great opportunity, and I'm certainly behind it.
Mr. Jennings?
Mr. President, I was one of the, I think it was 4 went to Mexico. We didn't go on a vacation. We went to do city business. And sometimes people can get the wrong information, misguided. And I appreciate people speaking their mind. At least you know where people stand. My job as elected official is to do what's best for the city at whole, not just for a few peoples or one race of peoples or whatever you want to call it. And we got a lot of valuable information out of that, and that's why the mayor came up and allowed these different groups. But first he got information from the city. He allowed groups to speak, and this is what came out of it. The people are speaking. So we are being proactive. And I ain't seen nothing in nothing in my lifetime that if you don't be proactive in something, you're gonna always get negative. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do proactive city. And I think this is what, it's not gonna hurt anything. It's gonna give the police department another tool to help them. This board won't have any subpoena power, but there'll be a listening to between the citizens and the police department. And I think it's a good thing that we're doing that. But to say that we went to Mexico and then get nothing out of it, I took off days from my family and work, and I got a lot out of it. I learned a lot. We're not in this alone. Across this nation are battling the same problem. But there was people there at Mexico that were looking for answers. And that's where we went. We went and got answers. So I refuse to yield to say that we are not doing anything, and I just think that the citizens deserve better, and that's what we're trying to give the citizens. And that's why I feel so strongly why I want to oppose, because I think I am taking care of the citizens' business in the city of Tupelo the way they want it. And they are speaking. So our job is to listen to everyone, even Mr. Pete Sims. I appreciate you coming. And we need more people to speak out. But our job is to listen to the whole thing and gather information and work out a solution, and that's being proactive. And I think that's what we're doing. I think it's going to be great things coming out of it. I hadn't heard any police officer they was against, at least they hadn't told me. But I'm not going to sit back and let the advisory board tell the police how to do their job. That ain't their job. But it's their job to listen to people. So I'm willing to go forward with this and give it a try. If we don't never try something, then we would never know. Thank you, sir.
All right. So, with no more discussion, item 6.2, review and adopt ordinance for Police Advisory Board. All in favor? All opposed? The motion carries on a 5-1 vote. Item 7, the routine agenda. Item 7.1, review and approve minutes of the regular city county minutes of the meeting of March the 21st, 2017.
So moved. Second.
I got a motion by Travis Beard and a second. Who gave me the second? Willie Jennings. All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.2, review and approve, reject advertising and promotional expenses.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion by Markle Whitten and a second by Buddy Palmer. We have two expenses, the symbol arts for the Tupelo Police Department Challenge Coins and the Lee County Courier, the best of the best, Thomas Walker. All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.3, review and pay the bills.
Make a motion that we pay bills.
Second.
I got a motion by Willie Jennings and a second by Markle Whittington. The bills were paid by Willie Jennings, Travis Beard, Markle Whittington. Is that it?
That's it.
All in favor? The bills are paid. Item 7.4, review and accept City of Tupelo audit for the fiscal year ending September the 30th, 2016.
Make a motion we accept the audit.
Second. Got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Travis Beard. Mayor.
Thank you, President Bryan. I don't know if Mr. Gerald is, oh, okay, we do have.
Yeah, I'm filling in.
Okay, Mr. President, would it be okay if we
Absolutely.
have a representative from Franks and Gerald to go over the audit for us?
I'm going to put him on TV.
I'm Michael Little with Franks, Gerald and Wildman, and I'm just going to quickly go over the report. Once again, the City of Tupelo has received an unqualified opinion of the audit of their 2016 year-end audit, and this is the best possible outcome of an audit of the financial statements. Testing was performed to determine compliance with laws and regulations. No issues were found, and our testing revealed that there was no indication of non-compliance. Overall, this is an excellent report showing that the city had increases in revenues, stayed within its adopted budget, increased its investment in the city's infrastructure and other capital assets, and kept overall debt at acceptable levels. As always, the cooperation of the city's department heads and employees made our job much easier. And of course, also, we're very appreciative of Kim, Hannah, and her staff with the help that they gave us in helping us meet this audit deadline. So all in all, a great report. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All in favor of approving the audit?
By the way, that's the book. I think it was.
Yeah, and if you don't want that book, turn it back into Amanda. Those books are expensive. Item 7.5, review and approve change order for Theron Nichols Safe Room.
I move we approve this change order.
Second.
I got a motion by Buddy Palmer and a second by Willie Jennings. We're having to approve a change order for the Theron Nichols Safe Room due to some FEMA requirements. It's just an administrative change. It has nothing to do with money or time or anything like that. It's just some wording in the contract. So, all in favor of adopting the change order? The motion carries. Item 7.6, review and approve change order for the Lee Acres Safe Room.
So moved.
Second. I had a motion by Travis Beard and a second by Mike Bryan. As for discussion, this is another FEMA required change order, just administrative only. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Item 7.7, review and approve maintenance resolution for Green Teen Sewer Community Development Block Grant Project.
I make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
I got a motion by Willie Jennings and a second by Markle Whittington. Mayor?
Thank you, President Bryan. Just a quick recap. Again, Lee County is the applicant for this CDBG grant because the area this is located is outside of the city of Tupelo, but is served by Tupelo Water and Light. This resolution is part of the application process, which is a resolution by the city saying that we as a city or Tupelo Water and Light will, if the CDBG is granted, that we will maintain the improvements to the system. So again, this is a prerequisite for receiving the grant for which Lee County has applied. And if we get it, Tupelo Water and Light will do the work and maintain the new and improved infrastructure.
Any more questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.8, review and accept nomination to the Accountability Task Force.
Make a motion, we accept the nomination.
Second.
Got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Buddy Palmer. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Lawhorn's not here tonight, but I think everyone here knows Mr. Andy Lawhorn. He is very active in the city of Tupelo and the community, and a long line of community activists and elected officials and whatnot. Would just respectfully request the confirmation of his appointment at this time.
All in favor? The appointment is approved. Item 7.9, review and approve request for donation of leave for a fire department employee.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Mike Bryan and a second by Buddy Palmer. We have a fire department employee who suffered an accident. It is not a work-related accident. He's exhausted all his leave and sick time, and he has just a few days, actually a few weeks, a week or so before he can come back on duty, and this is something that happens on a fairly regular basis for people where other employees donate their leave and sick time so he can continue to stay on the payroll. All in favor of the motion? The motion carries. Item 7.10, and approve listing of demolitions.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this listing, items 17,466, 18,202, 20348 only, and that we table the top three for the next 30 days.
Second.
I got a motion to table 120 Lawndale, 212 Barnes, and 321 Monument Street for 30 days, and we approve 520 South Broadway and 2756 Beasley Street. Is that correct, Mr. Whittington?
Yes.
And that's motions made by Markle Whittington and seconded by Mike Bryan. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Just point of order, we'll clear that up in a minute. It does need to be two separate motions. The table first.
Okay. Item 7.11, review ratify contract with Enscore LLC for Savannah Lane Drainage Improvement Project.
Make a motion to ratify the contract.
Second.
I got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Mike Bryan. Savannah Lane is a street off of Charleston Boulevard. Actually, the driveway goes over the levee of the lake, and these are for drainage improvements to that, so the lake will actually not overflow and release the water as it should be. This bid happened, I think, 1 or 2 councils ago, and this motion is to let the approve that bid and let the mayor go into contract with Enscore. All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.12, review ratify contract with Krupp Elevators for the modification of City Hall elevators.
So we ratify the contract.
I got a motion by Travis Beard and a second by Willie Jennings. Mayor?
Thank you, President Bryan. That is the ratification of the previously entered contract to get basically a new elevator system here at City Hall. It was previously approved by the council. The contract's been executed, and this is just the ratification of that contract.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.13, review award reject bid 1465 WL 2018 cab 4x2 chassis for the Tupelo Water and Light Department in the amount of $71,829.
Make a motion that we award this bid if their trucks are as pretty as the ones out front.
Second that.
I got a motion by Markle Whittington and a second by Buddy Palmer. Any further discussion? All in favor? The bid is approved. Acceptance of the bid is approved. Item 7.14, review approved change order number 1 for the Tupelo State Revolving Fund FY14 Sewer System Improvements Area 5A, West Tupelo.
So moved.
Second. I got a motion by Mike Bryan and a second by Travis Beard. Mayor.
If I could defer to Mr. Timmons on that one.
This change order is for additional days. When we actually started the project, we discovered that there were some unfounded utilities in an area, so we rerouted this sewer line around those, and when we did that, it reoccurred, new easement documents, and Mr. Logan had to redo the easement, so it took time for that. So all we're doing is giving the contractor his days back for that delay.
All in favor? Change order is approved. Item 7.15, review, award, reject bid 1457 WL Electric Materials, a 12-month supply for the Water and Light Department.
Move we award this bid.
Second.
Got a motion by Buddy Palmer and a second by Willie Jennings. Mr. Timmons.
This is a 12-month supply bid for the electric department. Everything we approve on low bid, except there's 4 items that need to be part of your minutes that we give explanation for why we didn't take them as low bid. They did not meet spec.
Okay. So we have a motion to award the bids for bid number 1457 WAO, 12-month supply of electrical materials for Tupelo Water and Light Department, except for the ones that are noted in the agenda. All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.16, review and accept minutes of the February 27th, 2017 Tupelo Coliseum Commission meeting.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Got a motion by Mark Whitten, second by Travis Beard. All in favor? The minutes are approved. Item 7.17, review, award, and reject bid 1464 Public Works, material bid for Public Works Department.
Move that we accept the bid.
Second.
I got a motion by Travis Beard and a second by Mark Whittington. This is for 300-pound rock, rip wrap, 100-pound rock, 8-inch surge, 6-inch Gabion stone, number 1 stone, 3-inch rock, crusher run, and clay gravel, and manufactured sand. The low bidder was Boonville Trucking on all items except for Century Construction was the low bidder on clay gravel. Are there any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.18, review ratified contract between JBHM Architecture and for the Vietnam Wall replica at Veterans Park.
I move we ratify this contract with JBHM.
I got a motion by Buddy Palmer and a second by Willie Jennings. This is, we've already approved this work to be done. We're only ratifying the contract for the mayor to sign. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 7.19, review and approve a donation of property at 323 Monument Street from Jason Harrison to the city of Tupelo.
Make a motion we approve the donation.
Second.
Got a motion by Mark Whittington and a second by Travis Beard. Mr. Logan.
This, Mr. Harrison contacted the city probably 6 weeks ago. We conducted the necessary property title searches and everything, and found that he is owner of the property and there's no liens on that property. He's already donated that to the city of Tupelo.
All right, good. Do I have all in favor of receiving the donation? Motion carries. There are no items on the study agenda. Mr. Logan, is there a need for executive session?
No, Mr. President.
There's no need for executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second. I got a motion by Travis Beard and a second by Willie Jennings. All in favor? City Council is adjourned.
Take care of